Right then, let's talk about Volkswagen, shall we? This German giant has a history as twisty as the Nürburgring. It all started back in 1937 when that bloke Hitler decided Germany needed a people's car. See, most Germans back then couldn't afford a motor car. Hitler wanted something cheap, reliable, and easy to produce.
Enter Ferdinand Porsche, a genius engineer, though sadly a member of the Nazi Party. I came up with the Volkswagen Type 1, a funny-looking little thing with an air-cooled engine stuck at the back. It was cheap, cheerful, and built like a tank.
The problem was World War II kicked off just as production was getting going. So instead of ferrying families to the seaside, the factory started churning out military vehicles for the German war effort. The Type 1, later nicknamed the Beetle, wouldn't get its chance to shine until after the war. Little did anyone know this quirky car would become a global icon. After the war, Germany was in a right state, but amongst the rubble, the Volkswagen factory still stood. A British Army officer named Major Ivan Hurst saw its potential. He convinced his superiors to let him restart production.
The Beetle, I reckoned, could be just the ticket for a rebuilding nation. And I was right. The Beetle was cheap, easy to fix, and utterly reliable. It became a symbol of post-war recovery, not just in Germany, but across Europe. People loved its quirky charm and bulletproof engineering. It was the car that put Germany back on wheels.
But Volkswagen's ambitions didn't stop at Europe's borders. They had their sights set on a much bigger prize, America. Now selling small, economical cars to Americans in the 1950s, that's like trying to flog vegetarian sausages at a monster truck rally. Americans wanted big, chrome-laden behemoths, not some little bug from Europe. But Volkswagen, bless their cotton socks, took a gamble.
They launched a brilliant advertising campaign that poked fun at the Beetle's size and unconventional looks. "Think small," the ads proclaimed, and to everyone's surprise, it worked. Americans, it turned out, were charmed by the Beetle's simplicity and honesty. It became a symbol of counterculture, embraced by hippies and students. The Beetle proved that even in the land of gas guzzlers, there was room for a bit of German efficiency.
Section 4, Driving into the Future, the Golf and Beyond. By the 1970s, the Beetle, for all its success, was starting to show its age. The world had moved on, and front-wheel drive, hatchback cars were all the rage. Volkswagen knew they needed a new trick up their sleeve.
That trick came in the form of the Golf, a car that would go on to become even more successful than the Beetle. With its practical hatchback design, peppy engines, and sharp handling, the Golf was an instant hit. It spawned countless imitations and cemented Volkswagen's reputation for building well-engineered, affordable cars.
But Volkswagen wasn't content with just the Golf. They went on to develop a whole range of successful models, from the sporty Scirocco to the luxurious Passat. They even dipped their toes into the world of supercars with the W12-engined Phaeton, a car that was about as subtle as a brick to the face.
Section 5. A global giant, Volkswagen's expanding empire. Now, Volkswagen isn't just about Beetles and Golfs, you know. Over the years, they've been busy building a proper automotive empire. They've gobbled up more car brands than I've had hot dinners. Audi, Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini, Porsche, Seat, Skoda, the list goes on. This strategy of acquiring established brands has turned Volkswagen into one of the biggest car makers on the planet. They've got a car for every taste and budget, from humble city cars to fire-breathing supercars. They're like the Genghis Khan of the automotive world, conquering everything in their path. Section 6, weathering the storm, the emissions scandal and the road ahead. But it hasn't all been plain sailing for Volkswagen, has it? Remember that Dieselgate scandal a few years back? Turns out they've been a bit naughty, fiddling their diesel engines to cheat emissions tests. Not very clever, lads. The fallout from that was messier than a kebab shop floor after a stag do. Fines, lawsuits, and a whole lot of grovelling ensued. It was a proper PR disaster, and it dented Volkswagen's reputation, no question.
But to their credit, Volkswagen has been trying to make amends. They've poured billions into electric cars and sustainable technology. They're even building a gigafactory to churn out batteries. Whether it's enough to fully restore their reputation, only time will tell.
One thing's for sure, Volkswagen has had a right old roller coaster ride of a history. From its Nazi origins to global domination, they've seen it all. And despite the odd bump in the road, they're still one of the most important car makers on the planet. What the future holds for them? Well, that's anyone's guess. But they'll probably be driving it, whatever it is.